Well, for more on that, I'm joined tonight by Rushan Abbas, a Uyghur American and rights advocate. She is the founder and executive director of the Campaign for Uyghurs. Ms. Abbas, it's good to have you on the program. You just heard there in our report, the Chinese government calls this latest revelation baseless. What do you say?
Well, that's how you have hit the nail on the head. China has been always speaks the opposite of the truth. Dr. Zhang's work is very important to provide factual information on the genocide based on the Chinese documents and the data itself. So it's not something that the Chinese government can easily deny.
And you agree that what's being reported, that this is in fact demographic genocide?
Yes, it is. What China is doing to Uyghurs is meeting the conditions laid out by the United Nations for genocide. No need to water it down. China is finding new and devious ways to carry this genocide. But it is genocide all the same.
You mentioned the United Nations. This situation reminds me of what happened with the Rohingyas in Myanmar. And you had a committee, an investigative committee from the UN that said, indeed, genocide was being committed there. Why aren't we seeing a similar attempt or a similar interest by the UN concerning the Uyghur minority in China?
Well, United Nations is being ineffective because it's China, the Chinese money, basically. The UN has been bought, and the leaders of the free world, and especially a organization like United Nations, has been silent. That frustrates us because United Nations should hold its principles, and especially frustration is United Nations even letting China have a seat on the Human Rights Council panel. We are certainly hopeful that as more and more information about this genocide comes out, countries and the United Nations different entities will make the right decision individually to divest from China, and while they are running concentration camps.
I know this has to be frustrating for you when you see what the United Nations is doing or is not doing. But what about the United States? I mean, you're in the U.S. Is Washington, the Trump administration, are they willing to talk with you?
Yes, actually, the U.S. Has been the first country to take actual tangible action and the strong steps. I certainly hope that the other countries will follow the suit and that there will be a further legislative actions. As we all know, on June 17th, President Trump signed the Uyghur Human Rights Policy Act, and here's another upcoming Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, which is very important. We need all countries to use the global Magnitsky sanctions against the Chinese officials. We need to have United Nations and the other democratic countries not allowing the International Olympic Committee to letting China host the Olympic Games while China is conducting a genocide against the Uyghurs.
Ms. Abbas, I want to ask you, I know that there has been this attention given by the Trump administration to what's happening to the Uyghur minority in China, but with a U.S. presidential election coming up in November, and with U.S. President Trump being down in the ratings right now in the polls, he is going to be looking for ways to win voter support. Does the Uyghur minority, does that fit in to Trump's thinking right now?
Well, there are a lot of speculations and the talks, but the bottom line is the President Trump signed and took actual a tangible step, as I mentioned earlier. China is running an intense campaign for disinformation and running concentration camps and conducting genocide. And I question the rest of the world. Where is the outrage from the Islamic countries? Where is the feminist activists while the Uyghur women are facing government-sponsored mass rape? Well, the why, the question is quite simple. It's China's money. Uyghurs are becoming a human collateral for the sake of China's economic aggression. So unless if the countries take a step and the U.S. to take tangible actions again, following with what they have been doing, no amount of money can erase this great stain on the humanity, because history is repeating itself. The never again is happening all over again on our watch. So the countries, the Western democratic shared value countries with U.S. really needs to take action, stop China.
Well, we will definitely be following this story, and we'll be interested to see if the UN takes action and also what comes out of the United States. Rushan Abbas, Uyghur American and rights advocate and founder and director of the Campaign for Uyghurs. Ms. Abbas, we appreciate your time and your insights tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much.